everybody. Welcome to another episode of the My Game Guys Board Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we are here to talk about some board games.
And other things.
Yeah, and other things. How'd the Broncos do?
Fuck if I know. I turned the game off before halftime.
Really? Oh, so that's
First
now,
time in
yeah.
That's now the soonest, in recent memory, that's the soonest I've turned a game off. I couldn't handle it.
At what point will you just not watch a game? Are you still going to watch every game? Or are you
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure I'm done with the season.
Okay.
Ooh.
So unless they start winning again?
I can't imagine them winning another game this season.
Ouch.
But if they did, would you start watching again? Or are you just not going to pay attention?
I mean, I don't know. They've killed me this season.
They killed you. You're dead.
Yeah.
My joy in football has been sufficiently curb stomped this season. Ruined. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll tune in. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch them anymore this season. If I'm sitting at home and don't have anything to do, then I'll watch the Broncos games. But
if you're just sitting to yourself and like, do I feel like getting mad right now? Yes.
So no more rescheduling podcast recordings around Broncos.
Yeah.
Around Monday Night Broncos games.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope. Not gonna worry about that.
Now, how do you compare your fandom to the Browns and 49ers fandom?
I don't understand. So this is one thing that I have a problem with, because some people might be like, oh, well, I see you're going to just be a fair weather fan, Adrian, not going to support the team when they're down. I expect my team to put some form of effort into playing football. There was no effort on display on Sunday. So if the team's not going to try, I'm not going to support them.
They're playing for the participation trophy.
I have no idea how there's a Browns fan left in the world.
Or 49ers. They're both
49ers have been good.
But they're both
before.
winless this season.
This season, yes. But the 49ers at least have a history of being good.
Are they going to play each other by any chance?
I don't
49ers
believe so.
and Browns? I don't think so.
Because then it'd be like, there can only be one worse team.
Yeah, I always like those matches where it's like, yeah, we're totally winless, but one of us has to win. You can tie in the NFL,
yes, you can
right?
tie during the regular season.
That would be amazing.
0-1-0.
How do you?
Or 0-1-15.
How exactly do you tie in modern football?
If you go through the first overtime and it is still tied, then it is a tie.
So another 15 minutes?
They've shortened overtime during the regular season to 10 minutes.
Okay.
So one more 10-minute quarter, and then it's.
And if no one gets even a fucking field goal,
yep,
that is a tie for you.
Or if they both get field goals, because you can both get a field goal.
Yeah. So it's no more golden goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, so I do not understand how just consistently terrible teams that have been. I mean, maybe your expectations are just so low. I'm probably fairly spoiled. The Broncos have had more Super Bowl seasons than losing seasons.
Impressive.
Yeah, the Broncos are a very good franchise, but because of that, I have very high expectations. And if they're not going to put forth a little bit of effort, which I saw zero effort on Sunday against the Eagles, they phoned that in and it showed. It was already 30-9 when I turned it off. It was already It was already well into that, they're not coming back from this. And you guys were done with your movie, and I was like, all right, well, screw it. We have Pandemic Legacy Season 2 to get to, so turning the game off.
I said to drop off one person, and then immediately came over.
Yeah.
So,
there was someone that lost 50 to something on Sunday, too. It was Giants or something.
Yeah, the Giants got blown out, I'm pretty sure.
I saw pictures of people in paper bags. Hastily made paper bags.
We're the only team that the Giants have beaten. They would be the third winless team if it weren't for the Broncos.
Ouch.
Yeah. And I bet if we played the 49ers would whip us right now. I seriously will. Looking at the schedule, we have the hardest schedule in the NFL going forward, and I seriously do not see us winning another game. I think we are going to end up with
2-14,
a 3-12 season.
Ouch.
Or 3-14. 3-13.
There you go, math.
That's a Bears season right there.
Yep.
That is a bear of a season.
It hurts. It hurts.
It hurts.
I for the first time also yesterday, when I get up in the morning and I'm getting breakfast ready and doing coffee and stuff like that, I have a pair of pajama pants I pull on when I get out of bed because my house is cold. Mm-hmm. And normally
it's a basement.
Normally they're my Broncos pajama pants. This morning when I woke up, or actually it started yesterday morning and continued this morning, I pulled on my SpongeBob pajama pants rather than my Broncos pajama pants.
You support a winner.
Yes.
Supporting the winner.
Yeah. Clearly.
I'm surprised that it's not a thong or something like that because it's bikini bottom. I mean, I feel like that's what SpongeBob would have.
I laughed so hard because I was in my head for a split second, it was Adrian a thong. And I was like, wait, that's in there. And now it needs to be out.
Yep. Nope. Yep. That's also a reason why. Yeah.
So we also saw a Thor recently. Mm-hmm. And if anyone has seen
Ragnarok.
Thor, Thor Ragnarok, yes. If anyone has seen that, you know exactly. It's in my mind now.
It's in my mind.
My head.
Yep. Yeah. So we should probably get on to games, right? Right?
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Assassin's Creed Origins, I've been playing that.
Uh-huh.
It's been really good so far.
Yes.
If you like a lot of people jumped off the Assassin's Creed train, like at least after
That's
Black
me.
Flag.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good time to get back on, I think.
Well, I jumped off after Assassin's Creed 2, then jumped back on for Black Flag, and then jumped back off after Unity.
So it's definitely a lot more open worldy. It definitely feels a lot more reminiscent of like The Witcher or Horizon Zero Dawn. And there's a lot more random shit that can happen. Like I had to go find some guy his wife was just like, my husband went drinking and I can't find him. And then I had to go find him. And he was on a pillar in the water with crocodiles like surrounding him. And then I got close and the crocodiles turned and destroyed my boat. And so then I fell into the water with the crocodiles. I was like, oh fuck, I gotta climb up on this pillar with him.
What was your boat made out of at the time?
It was like straw. Like a very basic boat, but I was just like, I did not know crocodiles could be like, fuck your boat, man. And so I was up there with the guy, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I gotta start shooting crocodiles in the face. So that's what I did.
It worked out okay.
Yeah. Like 6 hours in, I actually finally got my assassin's stabby thing.
Bladey thingies.
The bladey thing.
Wrist blades.
Yeah. Before, like when I'd have to assassinate people before, I just choked them out. Be like, and all right, you're dead now.
Yeah.
It's been really cool. It's a really pretty game too. So,
Cool.
And it's a really big map, which I was surprised at. So,
Right on.
Video game wise, I got Destiny 2 on the PC and that new Wolfenstein 2 game. I've not put much time into Wolfenstein yet, but I'm really excited about it because I love the first one. Well, actually, the second one, and the first one, but the most recent one before this one.
the standalone DLC.
No, the New Order.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wolfenstein 2, the New Order.
that's the newest one, right?
No, the New Colossus or something is the newest one.
I thought this was Wolfenstein 2.
Well, I mean, even the old one was technically Wolfenstein 2 because
There was the old one.
ass
Yeah, but
DOSy one.
Yeah, okay.
Return to Castle Wolf. There's been so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a ton of Wolfenstein.
Exactly. So this one, they're just like, all right, this one's called Wolfenstein now.
Yes, that one. I liked it a lot. And I like this one a lot too. From the 10 minutes I played it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I guess if we're gonna talk,
and more Mario. Mario's still.
if we're gonna talk video games, I did start playing Middle Earth Shadows.
Shadow of War.
No.
Yes.
No, he's Shadow. Well, you played Shadows of War. He was Shadow of Mordor.
Oh,
Yeah,
you were
the
playing the
first
first one?
The first one.
Oh, I saw it on your computer screen. I was like, oh, you got Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War.
Yeah.
And I thought it was Shadow. It was Shadow.
Correct.
Okay.
The first
Gotcha.
I got it on a Steam sale ages ago
For
and
$5 or
yeah.
something.
And since I'm unemployed and boredom is setting in hard, I was going through my list of Steam games like, oh yeah, I forgot I had this. I'll try this. And you guys made fun of me for playing on a keyboard and mouse setup rather than a controller.
The new one. I had the old one for PS4. The new one I could not do on keyboard and mouse. I needed to plug in an Xbox One. I needed to plug in I just so happened to choose
Yeah,
because
so
it's good control.
We'll see how it goes. I plan on sticking with the mouse and keyboard. I don't see it becoming a problem. It hasn't been a problem so far.
I never played it on PC. I played it on console before, so it could be easier. But the new one just has so many fucking buttons and crazy combo shit that I couldn't on a. And I've played PC.
Gotcha. So board games though, because that's what people are really here for.
Shit.
Is board games. Jeff, you haven't really played much board games, have you?
I've played Drive the Forklift and Load the Truck.
Yeah. He actually made it to game night this week.
Yeah.
He just didn't actually play.
And then I was like, hey, Jeff, what do you want to play? What do you want to play?
I want to play Drink the Beer and socialize with my friends.
Like a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, who does that? Socializing?
I watched other people play games. Multiple occasions, people came over. Do you want to play this? Do you want to play this? And I was like, no. I want to just stand here and talk to people because I've done nothing but work for a lot. It's no space in that, by the way. Just no space. It's a mythical creature.
Yes,
Look
it
up.
is.
Look it up.
Yep.
Yeah,
Look it up, people.
not things of no interest. Ali Broche is the
Yes.
artist.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember what her comic was called.
For a long time, I used
Hyperbole and a half?
Hyperbole and a half. Yeah.
Hyperbole and a half.
fantastic book. I used to make a lots out of various things. I'll show you people that those photoshops I did a long time ago. I one time drank a lot of tequila and I made a lot out of pictures of Jose Cuervo.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good. I'll send those.
Sweet. Yes, we need to see that now.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll show up in the Slack.
Yeah.
So Zach, you did actually play games. What games have you played?
So on Wednesday we played Ethnos.
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 I think it was correct to do that at least twice before the show started.
Yes.
Yes,
No, you're not wrong. And so this is an area control game.
Yep.
This is actually produced by Simon.
It's Simon's least produced game. Like there's not like crazy minis or ridiculous artwork or anything like that. Like it's here's what you need for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Go nuts.
Yeah. I thought it was like, so this one also, you have a bunch of, it's a card driven game too, where you have to play cards and you either play them in sets of the same color, and that determines what region you're doing it in, or the same picture. So if it's like elves, you play all the elves one of different colors, and it's whatever one you lead off with, you do that color. And it's every three at the end of each of the 3 rounds, you score points based on who has the most control in certain areas. And then at the end of the game, it's just whoever has the most points. It went fast enough, at least.
That was easily the thing that I liked the most about it, is that it was quick.
Yeah, for an area control game, it's not my style of area control game, where it's just everyone is building things and it's whoever has the most, versus like area control is like, I control this area, get the fuck out. Like that's my style of area control. This one was, you're just drawing cards and then playing cards, and you're like, I like that all the cards had different powers. You know, it's like the orc ones you're trying to do like a bingo sort of thing, or just, matching specific things, or the giants, it's whoever has the biggest one, you get extra points and stuff like that. I thought that was interesting, but it just didn't, I just felt like I was playing cards and then putting down things. Like I didn't feel connected to the game at all.
Well, in each round, you start off with like a market of like 8 cards. And so everybody can go around and you can pick a card from there, or you can draw a blind off the deck.
Mm-hmm.
And then anytime you decide to play cards from your hand, any that you didn't play go into that face-up market. Like, so, cards kind of going out of there, but there's no other way besides people discarding cards to fill that back up. So, like, what happened in all 3 ages for us is most of the good cards got taken out of that open market, and then there were, like, 2 whole times around the table where everybody's just like, I'll take the top card, I'll take the top card, I'll take the top card. And then if you weren't fortunate enough to get cards that, if you drew a shitty card, well, too bad you drew a shitty card, better luck next time. Now you're no closer to laying down. And it's a race, because in that deck there's 3 dragon cards, and when the 3rd dragon card gets revealed, that round ends.
Immediately. And so it's a timer. And so I remember when we were playing...
Well, so the problem is that if you're not drawing anything that helps you, then you're just wasting time drawing cards as your hand just gets fuller and fuller with junk until you finally can play something, and then all that junk goes into the market and gets scavenged, But that was something that bothered me, was the way there wasn't any way to work together there wasn't any way to mitigate that randomness of the deck draw. Like, you could just get screwed by drawing shitty cards off the top of the deck. Now, what were you saying, Zach?
Some of us were like, after it, we're like, oh, maybe if we tried to figure out, different ways to get the cards, so you had a little bit more choice. But because the timer is so ingrained in the game of that's when it ends, that you can't draw extra cards from the deck, because then that'll just make the game go even faster. And
Oh yeah, I agree. I don't think there was any good way around it.
Yeah,
it just sucked. That aspect of the game.
Right.
The rest of it was okay. For me, like, that was, I had no problems with that type of area control. I don't mind not being able to kill off or keep other people out, and that you just have to like maintain your strength in there. Like, that's the challenge. You can't. There's no way to coast in it. You have to keep actively working to be the higher one. I like
the little stacky things.
They're okay. They regularly got stuck together, which was a little frustrating. But
it looks good.
They're fine. They look nice. Like, there's nothing wrong component-wise with the game, in my opinion. I do like that there seems to be a fair amount of variability. Like, for each of the areas, you put out different score tiles, so the scoring's different in each region each time you play. And there's a whole bunch of different...
12 different races or something like that, and you only use
like Minotaurs 6? And Halflings.
Yeah, and they all have unique powers. So, like, each game might play quite a bit different depending on what powers you have out there and how they interact and stuff. So...
Insert looks nice.
The insert was nice.
Yeah. It's got little tubes for the markers. I didn't see this game.
Although I don't think Kyle had his in the tubes.
Oh.
I think he just had baggies.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I know he just had baggies. So I don't know if that's a deluxe version or something.
Maybe. I did not see this played, but I was looking at it while you were talking. Looks nice.
Yeah.
Components wise.
Yeah, people joke about it being CMON's least overproduced game or whatever, but that's just because it's just a basic production value. It's not extravagant or anything.
First thing that came to my mind was this looks a lot like War of the Ring.
Yeah, I could see that a little bit.
Yeah.
My only main problem is just the board. The board. It just feels really boring.
The board.
It's a little small. The board itself doesn't take up much space.
But because you don't
you don't need much.
You don't need much, but
so that can be nice. If you're tight on space, it's not one that's going to take up. It's not Lisboa and is going to take up a full size gaming table.
Right.
You could play this on a square bar table. And then it only took us maybe an hour. With
not even that.
Teach.
Yeah, 45 minutes or so.
It plays really quickly, which is the only reason I could see myself playing this again, is that it does play so quickly that I don't really get too invested in it. If I'm going to spend 3 hours playing a game, I take it seriously and I get invested. If it's under an hour, it's whatever.
And Board Game Geek does list this pretty highly under the family.
I could see that.
Yeah, I would say it'd be a good it's a good intro level game.
Yeah, it's definitely one too, because of the way there's not a lot of skill in what cards you end up with because of the random draws. Kids aren't going to get schooled because you have some master strategy of how to play the cards better.
Yeah.
So I could see that being a fair assessment.
I look forward to playing this game.
Yeah, I'm sure Kyle would be happy to teach you.
Cool.
So
it only runs $31, dude.
Yeah. Did you play anything else at game night, Zach?
At game night, I went 5-0 at ping pong.
You got Paul to rage quit.
Yeah, which is great.
You made Paul rage quit ping pong?
Yeah. Well, it's great because Adrian and Paul both I saw them move towards the table, and Adrian picked up the paddle and was like, Adrian, Paul can actually play, right?
Well, so we'd already volleyed 3 times by the time you came over and said that.
Yeah.
So Paul was like, hey, play ping pong. And I was like, no, I don't like ping pong. He's like, come on, play ping pong. I'm not even any good at ping pong. And I was like, I'm pretty sure you're actually decently good, but all right, fine, fuck it, whatever. We'll smack the ball around. Well, we never made it past the volleying for serve. And on the 5th time that he tried to spike shoot it off the table and oh, now we got to start the volley for serve over again because fucking Paul tried to spike on volleying for serve. Then I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm done. And so I rage quit before we even started playing. And then Zach immediately took over and then made Paul rage quit.
It was
the actual
either
game.
I had 14 and he had 6, or I had 16 and he had 4.
I think it was that one. I think it was
and then he was just like, all right, I'm done. He just walked away.
Zach's real good at ping pong.
Yeah.
Oh, we were also playing the little hook on a string game,
whatever the hell that's called.
So for those of you who are, this is a
don't regularly attend breweries.
Well, it's in 2 breweries here in town, but I first learned about this game out at a campground for rock climbers in Kentucky. But the way this game is played is essentially you have some kind of a metal loop on a string hanging from a rafter. And then on the wall, you have a little hook. And you pull the string back, and then you let it swing forward, and the goal is to get that little metal hoop to swing up and catch on the hook.
Yes.
Pretty simple in theory, way fucking harder in practice.
Indeed. Because you can't just swing at the hook, or it's just going to hit the bottom of the hook. And
so you got to get a little bit of an angle, get it to swoop up on there.
Yeah.
And so Paul was giving me shit because I missed a few while he was standing there. And then I was sitting there playing around with it because it's a great thing when you're just standing around drinking. I'm just swinging this string on a hook.
Yeah.
And then I finally got a couple, and then he came over. He's like, "Oh, here, let's play." And I hooked one, and then he's like, "Oh," and then he hooked one. He goes, "All right, let's do a best of 3." And I got up 2-0, and then he tied it up 2-2, and then I won 3-2. So he got beat at the hook game after mocking me for being terrible at it, and he rage quit ping pong after Zach thoroughly spanked him at ping pong.
That's why he's
Paul had a good game night.
Bullshit Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of bullshit.
I really like having somebody who's not on the show that we can make fun of, who's not here to defend themselves.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but that's why he needs to email or BGG post.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or Twitter to fend his own honor.
Fend, yep.
Fight fend.
What have you been playing, Adrian?
So game night decided I only played Ethnos, and then I joined Jeff in standing around drinking, and then rage quitting ping pong and throwing rings at hooks. However, outside of game night, we finally started up our pandemic.
We as in me.
Yeah, Zach and I.
Yeah.
Yes.
2/3 of the podcast.
I brought my copy of
which got me real excited.
Pandemic Legacy Season 2 to game night. because I went home, grabbed my boxes of things I just got in the mail that day, and ran to game night to not play them. And we stared at that for a little while.
And we, as in you two.
Yes, because Zach did not want to know anything.
No, Adrian came while I was playing ping pong, and he's like, Zach, we just opened up the box, and I'm like, you shut your face, Adrian, go away. I will find out when we actually start playing.
Yeah.
Correct.
All I have currently seen is the box and the internals. But I have not yet played it, unlike you people.
Yep.
Yes. So we played this Sunday. Or no, Saturday. We played this Saturday. We played one. So there's a prologue mission that uses no legacy components at all. There's no writing on anything. There's no destruction, anything.
And they highly recommend doing that
At least once.
because this game is very different
And
from regular Pandemic.
it is.
Yeah.
The main difference in this one, and this is something that anybody who's been following this game already should know. In this game,
I just say
Hashtag spoilers if you want to know nothing about what's in this box, talking about the box, talking about anything about this game.
then skip ahead, I don't know, 30 minutes or 30 seconds.
yeah, 30 minutes.
You know what? Skip about 5 seconds before the end.
Yes.
We have timestamps.
Yeah, I will put. I will do timestamps for here.
Well, you can edit in like right here, a little edit point where you're like, skip to this time if you want no Pandemic Legacy season 2.
Yeah.
We're not. I'm not spoiling anything that's like any
we're not
boxes
gonna-
or
no, I
open or
understand that,
anything
but
like that.
it's
But if
still-
you're obsessed with like, oh my god, I haven't opened my box and I don't want to know anything about
Like
it.
I did- like
haven't
I
read
was.
Any,
Yeah.
You knew what I'm about to say before
Because
that.
if you assholes talk anything about what happens in mission 1 or 2, I will murder you.
Yes. So
Yeah.
there won't be any actual mission or story spoilers. This is just
Mechanics.
like base mechanics that you learn during the prologue and like things you might see when you first open the box.
Yes.
Which I don't care about.
Anyhow, now that spoiler warning
You've
is out
had
of
45
the way,
seconds of us cursing each other
Yes. Yeah.
So the biggest difference gameplay wise is there's not the 3 diseases anymore, at least not at the start. I don't know if that'll change, but
4
you
diseases?
instead, the cubes you're putting down, 4 diseases. The cubes you're putting down are supplies, not diseases. And whenever you draw a city's card from the pandemic infection deck, that's the word.
Which sounds a lot like the Iberia mechanics of the freshwater markers.
Right. So whenever you draw a city's card off the infection deck, you take away a supply. And if there's ever no supplies, then you put down a plague cube.
Yeah.
And plague cubes.
Well, because this is incurable, at least as of right now.
It's just the
at
plague.
the start. Yeah.
It's not like the red or the blue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're doing preventative stuff with the supplies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is very similar to Iberia.
Yeah.
Which I love. So
And you start out with only like maybe a dozen cities opened up on the map. 9.
Yeah.
And so to keep the infection deck, more than just 9 cards, there's 3 of every city in there.
ooh.
And so you can very easily like in our prologue one, Cairo, somehow all 3 Cairo cards ended up like stuck together basically. And like they weren't actually stuck together, but that's how it fucking felt.
Yeah.
Because then every epidemic card that came up in the player deck, like shuffle, and it's like we'd get 4 cards out, and then it's like, oh, another epidemic. It's like 3 of these 4 cards are Cairo. Cairo is fucked.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Luckily, that was prologue, so there were no legacy effects or anything like that.
We lost the prologue just because, and you definitely need to play it once just so you get the hang of how the game works and what your priorities are. Because we were like, oh, we should focus on these other things. And then we're like,
Oh, shit.
because it's not like regular Pandemic where if a city gets hit once, like you don't have any supplies, you draw a card once, you're like, okay, that hurt, but now we can do something. Now it's just like you said, all 3 Cairo cards coming out at the same time and you don't have any supplies that's there. You put out plague cubes, and those cubes are the outbreak ones, basically. There's
and
8
same
cubes.
mechanic of like 3, and then if another one happens, it'll outbreak from there.
Yes.
Okay.
So we lost real hard in the prologue, but then we played January and February. We won January pretty handily. We had a couple things go wrong for us, but nothing too bad. We were able to still pull off the victory, and then we got fucking wrecked in February. It beat us hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm definitely liking it so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some early reviews, or I guess some not early reviews, but some reviews are out there saying people are saying that it's a little easier, and some people are saying that it's
No, I don't think so. So far, like maybe it'll get easier.
I think
But I think
know
a lot of the ones that said that was easier were playing with only 2 players
Yes.
versus 4 players.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, I
So.
could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to trying to
And a
win
lot of
some more games.
Yes.
a lot of the impressions were it's not as good as Season 1 just because it's more Season 1. Same way as Guardians of the Galaxy 2 wasn't as good as Guardians of the Galaxy 1 because it sort of didn't come out of nowhere and wasn't super fresh, I guess.
I don't know. So far, I'm enjoying it more than... Because I don't care for Pandemic itself as a board game. I love it as an app. And I liked Pandemic Legacy because of the story experience. This one is different enough mechanic-wise, and I'm already I'm more invested in where's this story going from here? Where are things headed?
Okay.
So I'm at least 2 games in. I'm definitely liking it more than season.
I don't know yet. I definitely think first game versus first game of each of them. Pandemic as a game is better than the first game of this one, just because Pandemic is its own complete game.
Yeah.
Where this one is. It was the same.
You can't play Pandemic Legacy Season 2 in its own, version.
Yeah.
There's no going to be Pandemic Legacy Season 2 that we can make on a tarp.
No.
Well, I mean, we can. It just wouldn't be a good game.
No.
I wonder if can Pandemic Legacy Season 2 be played again after the end of the campaign?
I don't think so. Yeah. I think these ones
are meant to be truly
standalone. Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer because you can always play Pandemic, but you can never play Pandemic Legacy Season 2 just by itself.
Probably not.
I guess you could play the prologue.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
There's going to be it's like playing, the first mission in StarCraft over and over again and not getting to see the rest of the campaign.
Yeah. No, I don't know. We'll see how it ends. What the thing is. I mean, because technically you could play the last month of season 1 over and over again. It wouldn't be anything exciting.
Yeah.
Because so much of that is the experience of playing the 12 games. But I think where you were going to go, Zach, is you were about to say it's similar to the same problem Seafall had, where the start of the game you're not playing a full game yet.
But I'd like this part. I did like this one a lot better than Seafall for the first game versus first game of that. But yeah,
I'm actually really wanting to play this again.
Yes.
Whereas Seafall, we got a couple games in and it was
literally only one of us is we need to play more.
Yeah.
Bullshit ball.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's about all I played. Board game wise. Jeff, I understand that although you didn't play any games Wednesday and you didn't really play games over the weekend, you do have, for the first time in a long time, a Bloody Minute segment.
I do indeed. Because I keep forgetting to talk about it, or stuff gets in the way, and I have 2 Blood Bowl games to talk about.
Oh, shit.
Bloody
2 minutes.
Bloody 2. Yeah, it'll be at least 120 seconds. The Season 5 Vaults division continues to march on. We have 2 divisions, the Vaults and the Darklands. I made it into the Vaults because I made it into the playoffs last season. My 3-week ago game was against a great guy, Lilo. He plays the Mile High Himeros. They are a Chaos team. Chaos Warriors, Minotaur, Beastmen, stuff like that. Against my war bosses, the Orcs. Lilo, I have not played since match 1 of season 2. I was still playing my humans. Fantastic guy. He's been all the tournaments, the most positive person I have ever played Blood against. No matter how much I smash him to shit, he is always all right, cool, awesome. That was an awesome play. Super positive guy. I love Lilo. Did not go so great for Lilo. I got real lucky on some blocks. Got his Minotaur KO'd real early, which left him down some guys. And as all high armor, high strength teams go, once you start losing some of those high strength, high armor guys, it kind of goes downhill from there. He did get super lucky on some fucking bullshit picking up the ball. I tried to score more in that game by taking my thrower and handing it off to a black orc, or not a black orc, I'm sorry, blitzer, to try and get them some more star player points. Because the only other way they really get star player points is by killing dudes. So touchdowns are actually the most star player point awarded thing, 3 versus 2 star player points. So I wanted to get them some points. Our weather roll for the game, however, was pouring rain, which gives you a -1 to all of those rolls. So instead of catching it on a 3+, I'd be catching it on a 4+. On multiple occasions that game, my blitzers decided to be meh, nope, fuck you, I'm gonna drop that ball. Every time I fucking did that, he'd roll a 5, a 6, and a 3 to get into where the ball was, and with the ball, out. Over and over and over. So I kept having to smash him, which I kept doing, but he kept having guys that could pick up the goddamn ball. So ended up being 1-0 for the war bosses. I got a sweet 4 casualties to his 2 casualties, which he got on the very last, like, I'm going to score on 8, you get 1 more turn. And then he would come back, and then he came back and took fucking 2 casualties against me in 1 turn.
Damn.
On the very last turn of the game, which was nuts. They were both linemen. Nothing happened. 1-0 for the war bosses. So that leads to my big game of the season. This was against the Dwarf Bashers. This was against Phil. Phil was the champion last season in the championship game against Bullshit Paul and his orcs. Went into double overtime. They played 2 games of Blood Bowl in this championship, which Paul inevitably ended up losing, unfortunately. But 4 halves they played. So he's got a very good dwarf team. Tons of skills, lots of guard. As dwarves are, they have lots of high armor, exactly like I do. Not a ton of strength and not a ton of movement, but he has enough guard to really make up for it. I was not looking forward to this game. His team is undefeated since the team's creation.
Oh,
Jesus.
wow.
Yeah. So last week, David, our friend and friend of the show, he's been on the show before. He tied him and his first not win was the previous week. And so I was like, all right.
He's slipping.
I could at least get a draw in this game. My team value was 250,000 gold less than his, which is insane. So I ended up buying a troll to try and boost my strength advantage. I induced a chainsaw, Olgrot Bulgrot. Chainsaw is a secret weapon. I get +3 to the armor breaks, and I don't have to roll the block dice. I just roll a 2+, and then I just do an armor roll, and that's it. I came into this game with a strategy of, if I kick, I have to set up first. I'm going to do minimum, and I'm going to try and hit with that chainsaw 8 turns. I only get that chainsaw for 1/2 because it's a secret weapon, and the refs will ban the player after I only get him for the 1 drive. So if someone scored, and turn 4, he would be out. So I was going to make sure no one scored, and I would be able to hit for 8 turns because I needed that chainsaw to try and get some casualties, get some knockouts, get a numbers advantage against his team. If I was going to receive, I was going to pick up the ball, and I wasn't going to try and score. I was going to hold on to the ball, guard the ball, because I didn't want to sacrifice players trying to march it down the line with his dwarves trying to get the ball. And his dwarf catchers or runners are actually faster than my orcs. So I didn't want to have to try and chase down some fucking dwarf runners with like armor 8, and his runners actually have a lot of skills. So I was like, I can't let him get the ball and get past me because I won't be able to catch him, and they have block and dodge, and I'm not going to be able to knock him down. So I received and got the ball. First fucking block of the game, casualty with the chainsaw. And I was like, yes, I got it's 10-11. And it was against a guard. He has like 6 guard on his team. And those give assists to anyone that's around them, no matter what other tackle zones are there. Ended up getting a casualty out on his guard. And I was like, every turn, I'm going to be fucking going for the guard or going for his strength 4 blitzer. He has like a crazy blitzer that just fucking needs to die. He's got a 200,000 gold value right now.
Jesus.
Yeah. He's got plus strength, blodge. He's fucking insane. But I also needed to keep his troll slayers that are really good at killing higher strength things.
Like killing trolls?
Like killing trolls. I needed to keep the troll slayers away from my high strength guys. Thankfully, this guy, Phil, fucking loves surfing. He puts his troll slayers on the wings and just leaves them there waiting for people to get 2 away. So I didn't go 2 away from the sideline at any point in the game. So his troll slayers threw some blocks kind of in the game, but I was spacing them out. Kept getting lucky. I got him down to kept getting KOs. KOs here, casualties there. I just kept rolling hot. I kept my thrower kind of vulnerable for his runners to run in around because they can move 8 with 2 go for it's. Lured him in. He ran his runner around to the rear of my line and hit my thrower, knocked the ball out, but now there's a fucking runner in the middle of all the orcs by himself. Fucking crush that guy.
Nice.
Parked the troll up next to him. Fun fact, rolled double skull on a 2-die block to push, used a team reroll, got a skull and a push, skull and a dodge, which the runner had blocked, so it was just a push. And then I was like, all right, now I got a 3-die block with my troll. Triple skulls! All 3 myself down on the troll. This was the second block that the troll had ever tried to do. The first block the troll ever tried to do, rolled a 1, got really stupid. Couldn't do anything.
Ouch.
So my first and second block with my troll, Throg the Unnatural, was a really...
The unnaturally dense.
Yeah, a 1 and a triple skull, which I don't know if I've ever rolled before, which is brutal.
Yeah, that sucks.
Too bad you weren't in a tournament.
And you just used your reroll, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the troll to roll a reroll, I would need to roll a 4+ in the first place to be able to even use the reroll.
Else you lose it.
Else you lose it.
It's a loner.
Loner, yep. And this is like turn 6 of the first half. But this whole time, Olgrot Bolgrot is well worth that 100K inducement. Ended up getting a casualty and 4 knockouts in the first half.
Damn.
Broke the armor of 5 dwarves, casualtied 1, and then the other 4 rolled a 9, not an 8, not a 10. An 8 would be stun on dwarves because they have thick skull. 10 would be out of the rest of the game. Rolled 4 9s on his casualty roll. Well worth everything he had. Now, every time you throw with a chainsaw, you have to roll 2+, so he doesn't eat his own chainsaw. Did not roll a single 1 on Olgrot Bolgrot the entire half. He ended the half with 5 players on the field and me 1-0. I'm sorry, 0-0, because I did not try to score. Second half starts. None of his KOs come back in. He is down 5 players.
Jesus
Christ. He has 13. And he's down 5. He comes back with only 8 players on the field versus my 11 full strength. I continue to fucking roll over him for the rest of the game. Park a blitzer who did get the ball finally at the goal line, and I smash him into the ground for the rest of the game. The game ends 1-0. He has 3 players left on the field, handing him his first loss. Period.
And what a loss.
And what a loss. I continue this season, 4 games undefeated since postseason. Since my postseason loss, I played 2 more postseason games after that. And then the first 3 of this one, I have a 5-game win streak with the War Bosses.
Nice.
Holy shit.
Oh, shit.
This isn't the Jeff I'm used to. Like, actually winning games?
No, you are soaring highs, so that fall is going to be sweet.
I'm going to play Wood Elves next.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to smashing the shit out of some Wood Elves.
Yeah, the War Dancers.
The War Dancers. What's going to happen is they're going to leap over me and score, and it's going to be like a goddamn 3-0 loss.
Yeah.
So
Sounds about right.
So yeah.
Sounds like some elfie bullshit.
Elfie bullshit is my next game.
Nice.
We'll see how that ends up.
Right on.
Right on. That was the bloody couple minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Real quick, because we like to just mix things up and never do anything in any kind of real order.
No.
Before we move on to news and Kickstarter, let's interject here because we actually have an interesting beer at the table that
multiple interesting beers
that are being drank. So let's take a second to talk about what we're drinking, guys.
So what is your interesting beer that you were drinking, Adrian?
Well, mine is not one of the 2 interesting beers around the table. I am continuing to drink Escape to Colorado IPA from Epic. Yep. As long as Jeff keeps bringing me those, I will keep drinking them because
it's a fantastic IPA.
Yeah, funds are tight, and so free beer goes down real nice.
And I get a lot of it.
There you go.
Earlier, Zach and Zach was currently...
As in
drinking,
I finished.
Yeah. From Epic, the Big Bad Baptist Triple Barrel, which is barrel-aged Imperial Stout, barrel-aged coffee, that is coffee in a whiskey barrel, and barrel-aged coconut flakes. Coconut flakes in a whiskey barrel. So it is a coconut coffee stout with cocoa nibs.
Super tasty.
Very good.
Yeah, it was like 12% or something like that.
As is all Big Bad Baptist.
Yep.
It was pretty tasty. I had a little sample. I've tried all of these beers because I'm, working on broadening my beer horizons beyond just IPAs. But yeah, it was good.
Nice. But that 12% is peanuts compared to...
Yeah.
So I'm drinking the pumpkin from Avery. This is their annual barrel series from last year. It was bottled August 16th, 2016. It's clocking out at a nice 18.8%.
God.
Pretty tasty. I like it.
Yeah. I haven't tried it yet.
I was actually drinking a little bit earlier, and I wasn't expecting, like, some of the ones that are like 15, 16%.
Super boozy.
They're boozy, but you don't really taste it, like the Rumpkin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This one, I was just like, you smell it, and you're like, okay, I smell some booze in there. And I took a drink, and I was just like, okay. This is like, I almost wanted to yeah.
This is like liquor.
Well, and the pumpkin flavor on that comes through real strong.
It does, yeah. It's good, though. I like it.
One of my favorite things of the Great American Beer Festival was getting a straight barrel Rumpkin, like tapped the barrel at certain periods during the day.
Nice, yeah.
And getting a nice pour of that.
Cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up all of our kind of bantery stuff.
Yeah.
Onto some actual real things.
I guess real actual things. I mean, we can just talk about Blood Bowl if we want. I mean,
I think we've all had enough Blood Bowl for now.
All right. You've been missing out for weeks. I mean, I just had to
Cram it in there.
Yeah, get it back in there.
get it real up in there. Next up is news, which we have some cool stuff this week. Not cool stuff, the website, but other things that are actually cool and stuff. First up on
Jeff does words real good.
I do words good.
You do words well.
Yeah. Me do words well. First up on news, the Mondo game convention that I fucking talked about last week with they're releasing that sweet, cool, deluxe, way too expensive thing version. They announced a sweet new board game called Jurassic Park: The Chaos Gene, an asymmetrical competitive board game with like full-on ass Jurassic Park license. You're gonna have 4 different players, like the InGen,
Yep.
park visitors, velociraptors,
Yes.
and big ass T-Rex.
Yes. I want to read the interview with the.
Real quick,
Yeah.
before you all do that, like, because we'll link this page with the announcement and everything in the show notes, like we always do for news and Kickstarter items. But whoever wrote this article is bullshit. And here's why they're bullshit. First sentence in the article. With the massive influx of games available for iPhones and Androids that have flooded the market in the past few years, new board games seem to be coming few and far between.
What?
So clearly whoever this person is...
I mean, it says their name there, but I don't think we need to just start clearly
The
saying
link
fuck
will
that
be
person.
in the show
but,
notes. But yeah, this person can go right to hell. Because they clearly don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Sure.
But
Yeah, that's.
which somebody called them out like immediately in the comments. Because here on Earth, at least 40 games were published last month alone, including, and they give a
literally
fucking
listed
huge
all
list.
40 of them.
Nice. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
So there was an interview with the brand director of Mondo, and so he actually describes the different roles. So like in InGen is they're creating, they're splicing DNA, they're mining for amber so they can get DNA, they're creating dinosaurs. So they call basically the god character. Then there's the park visitors, which they're a small crew of people with objectives that they need to accomplish. But they also need to be able to survive and actually get out of the park. And then there's the velociraptors. They're like SEAL Team 6, but Velociraptor Team 1. They're just going around. They're like slinking around and they're just killing people. And then
As they do.
yeah, as they are wont to do. And then there's finally the T-Rex. They just go stomp around eating everything.
Fair.
Yeah. So I like that it's also like these are all very different. These are a very asymmetrical roles. I like that. So I'm very curious to see the sort of balance in this. And they don't have any pictures of
There's
the
almost
game.
no information.
Yeah. But the Mondo is behind designing,
Yeah, they did the thing
Yep.
infection at Outpost 31.
which is out nowish.
Yep. Apparently there's going to be a Fight Club one too, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Jurassic Park stuff coming from Mondo.
Yeah. Everyone's getting all in on that, dinosaur park theme.
And I am 100%
Right.
okay with that.
Yeah. Next up on news is Catan Chocolate Edition. So have you ever thought like, I want to play Catan, but I also want to eat it when I'm done playing the game? No?
No,
No, I have not.
That's crossed my mind.
So I guess later this year, early next year, they're going to release a chocolate edition, Belgian chocolate, Knights, Cities, Settlements, and Roads, all made from chocolate. And then when you're done playing the game, you get to eat all of the pieces from in your tableau. So the more you win, the more chocolate you get to eat.
Yeah. Just in time for Christmas and Easter.
Yes. I guess it's an actual Catan game, but
it's simplified.
It's simplified. It's got a spinner for the resources instead of dice, and it's first to 5 victory points instead of 10. But it seems like from the description, you still get, resource cards and a complete set of simplified game rules.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I like that it lists, here are some inedible editions of Catan.
Yeah. Let's promote the real versions as well.
Yep.
No real price on this one, but I mean, I'd play an edible version of Catan if it wasn't super long.
Yeah, it seems like oh god, what are those things called? The things on the wall, like for Christmas, the advent calendar sort of thing.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly what I was initially thinking when I heard about this. It's interesting over on Catan.com, which is ran by Mayfair. They say released in 2016, but it's definitely not really available.
Unless there's some other version we've never heard
Although
of.
it does
maybe
say
it was
there's
the
an
German
English version available soon. So
Yeah.
maybe the Germans have been eating dark, rich, delicious chocolate Catan stuff for a year already.
So this is the English version. So is that going to be like Hershey's chocolate?
Oh God, I hope not. No, I want real chocolate. Come on.
My BFF CJ works for Mars in Chicago, and he would agree with everyone that all chocolate sucks now.
Yes.
Yep, he's the one that has to make it. Next up on news, there's this sweet new website called Boardgame Finder. If you've ever been thinking of like, what kind of game? I like this, but what games should I buy? This is literally the website for you.
And it clearly worked fantastically because you put in Deck Builder and it recommended Food Chain Magnate. So there's no kinks to iron out there.
Well, so for one, it had deck building and pool building were just together, which deck building is a subset of pool building.
Yes. It did also have regular deck builders in there.
So I can understand, and I would say that Food Chain does have pool building elements to it. But yeah, definitely it has some kinks because it also recommended Arkham Horror LCG, which is deck construction. So your deck changes over multiple games versus like within the same game, which is what I would say building is.
But if you put in Food Chain Magnate, first recommendation, The Gallerist, The Great Zimbabwe, 1846, Tramways, Arkwright.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's not wrong.
I just want to kill myself.
It's literally everything Adrian loves. Okay, also, 13th on the list, Scythe.
Well, like I said,
loud.
there's a few kinks to it. There's a few kinks
There's
to
a few
iron
kinks, huh? Also, Codenames is like 17th.
I like Codenames.
But what does it have to do with Food Chain Magnate?
I want to actually try and figure out something.
But then it has Terraforming Mars literally right after Codenames, so it's A-okay. What if I put in Terraforming Mars? Is it just Terraforming Mars over and over again?
It's a recurring loop.
Yeah. Terraforming Mars.
Give us the top 5.
Feast for Odin.
No?
Scythe.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That still had Food Chain Magnate in there.
Good.
So essentially, the way they pull this data, and this is the reason why you'll see like Scythe pop up randomly or like Codenames pop up in a food chain. They don't give a shit about actual mechanics. Essentially, this entire thing is using a collaborative filtering. So it pulled all the data from BGG and basically looked like people who rated this highly. Here's other games they rated highly.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so like. Just like somebody like me who actually does enjoy Codenames from time to time would have Codenames rated highly alongside games like Food Chain and Gallerist and Vinos and all those.
So what was Terraforming Mars?
Nothing accurate.
Okay.
Clank, Mansions of Madness.
I mean, I like
Through
them.
the Ages, Seven Wonders, Scythe.
Well, it's just thrown off because everybody loves
Terraforming
Mars.
So it's just like, here's 5 random games because
Everyone loves this game.
Yeah.
This is the outlier that broke the system.
Yeah, like Whistle Stop is in there. And that works. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're looking, I think it works better mechanically than just putting in titles.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because it will give other games of that use that mechanic.
So
and you can list
search
multiple
for
mechanics.
the Terraforming Mars.
Boardgamefinder.net. It's a good website. It's built well, I should say. Next up in news, Portal Games announced literally everything for everything that they make. A ton of new expansions, most notably for Robinson Crusoe, a campaign expansion of the Lost City of Z.
So they did one previously, The Voyage of the Beagle, which I have, but I still haven't played.
Yeah, we need to.
And this one, basically, you're following one character, and everybody's like, one person can be that character, and then everybody else is like sub people.
Helpers.
No, I like sub people. Okay?
Sub people, okay.
Yes.
Prisoners with jobs? Is that...
Yes, there you go. Prisoners with jobs.
Prisoners with jobs.
Yep. And then apparently this will add horror and sanity into the game. Now, is Lost City of Z... I know there's actually a movie that just came out somewhat recently about this. Adrian, does this have anything to do with zombies, or is it just its own thing?
I don't think so.
I
don't think it does. I think it's its own thing.
Okay.
Well, so I don't think the Lost City of Z, the movie that just came out or whatever...
It's Amazon Exploration.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well then, okay. Then it goes back to the Lost City, which... I don't know, like, if the Z is, if it's just typically the Lost City of Z, but in the book/movie, The Congo, they were looking for the Lost City of Zinj in the Congo.
But it was like a lost
region.
Advanced civilization in the Amazon.
Yeah. In Congo, which is my only experience with it, it wasn't so much an advanced civilization. It was just a super wealthy diamond mine. It's where King Solomon got all his diamonds.
Yeah.
And so there were some special diamonds there. I don't know. Judging by the Robinson Crusoe theme, I can't imagine that they're going to throw zombies into Robinson Crusoe.
I doubt it.
At least not zombies like Romero zombies, maybe like voodoo zombies, but still, seems unlikely.
For sure. And then just like a million other things, Portal Games went new Imperial Settlers, Alien Artifacts, Hiroshima Hex, just tons and tons and tons of different cool, awesome stuff.
I like that the new pack for Imperial Settlers is We Didn't Start the Fire.
Yeah.
Which... now means that song is going on a Imperial Settlers playlist that will just be that song on repeat.
Over and over.
For the entire time I play Imperial Settlers.
And over. Next up on news, this one's sort of board gamey related, but just an interesting story that we had read. The Murder on the Orient Express cast, which contains people like William Dafoe, Daisy Ridley, Penelope Cruz, decided to just get together every Friday during filming and play Werewolf. And the most William Dafoe thing that I could imagine happening was him being like, I don't really want to play, showing up and then crushing everyone at Werewolf over and over and over.
Mm-hmm. And then apparently, was it Leslie Odom Jr.? So he was from Hamilton. He played Aaron Burr.
Yeah.
Apparently a lot of people thought that he was the best at being able to convince people, to be able to bullshit right to their face, and then as soon as they close their eyes, stab them right in the back. And then Daisy Ridley, a.k.a. Rey from Star Wars, was the absolute worst.
Open mouth, you're not a werewolf. Open mouth, you are a werewolf. I believe was how it was described.
I've definitely known people that are just like that. So it's good to see, even if you're an actor, you can still just be like, nope, can't do that.
Can't. It was an article of an interview on Entertainment Weekly. I highly recommend everyone go there and read it. It's real short, but highly entertaining. It seems like they had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just like they said, Daisy said, by the end of the game, every time I was a werewolf, I just laughed, and everyone was like, Daisy, would you just leave?
I would love nothing to do but play that game with William Dafoe. Even though if he hated it every second, just because I love one. I feel like it'd be real scary.
Yeah.
And last up on news, one of my favorite games is getting an iOS version early next year, Isle of Skye.
Yeah, fantastic game, and I'm really excited to have a digital version. Although it's just iOS, which is unfortunate.
Sucks for you, Adrian. So this is by Digidiced, who did like the Patchwork one.
Yeah,
which
they
is really
do a lot of
good.
really good work. I really like Digidiced.
Yep. Interesting to see if playing it digitally will make me like it anymore. We'll see.
It'll go faster.
Cottage Garden is also, as of last week, I don't think we mentioned it, Cottage Garden is also available now, iOS and Android from Digidiced.
And Steam.
Well, Steam just came out.
Yeah.
But $5 for Cottage Garden. Not sure about Isle of Skye, but probably in that same.
Yeah, and that's the first
range.
part of next year.
Yep. First quarter 2018. Fingers crossed that one.
Should be.
That's it for news. News is done. Again, this week, forever.
It'll be back. No, it'll be back next week.
Until there's more news.
Until there's more news sometime. It's done now.
Yeah.
Correct. We've covered all the news there is to cover.
Yes. Next up is Kickstarters. First up on Kickstarters is your weekly crazy expensive Kickstarter that looks fucking awesome that maybe not all of us can afford. This one is War Room, a Larry Harris game. Whoever Larry Harris is.
He made Axis and Allies.
Oh, okay. Now that's understandable why this board game looks like this. It is well funded, $250,000 of its $150,000 goal, 1,200 backers. This one has a whole month to go for you to decide whether you want to spend $149 on this crazy, awesome looking game.
Yeah, I know I want to. Whether or not I'm able to is the question.
Just save $3 a day, and then at the end of the month, you'll have it.
All of those sad pet commercials on TV won't get their money because we need to save up for War Room.
Yes. Stop going to Starbucks every day, Adrian.
Yeah,
Stop going to
'cause that's-
Santiago's
Oh, yeah, that's the thing
every day.
Because that's the thing I don't do anymore.
Waking up at 11:30 a.m. every day.
Yeah. So anyway, War Room is a 2 to 6 player war game where the board is like a...
It's super cool.
It's a circular view of the Earth from like
The North Pole.
Yeah. So
It's also World War II.
Yeah.
1942.
and you can play depending on how you want to play. There's 4 scenarios. There's a global scenario that plays 2 to 6, Europe which plays 2 to 4, Pacific that plays 2 to 3, and the Eastern Front, which only is a 2-player game. But you can play as any one of the 7 nations that they have in the game: USSR, British Commonwealth, USA, China, Imperial Japan, Germany, and Italy. And you could even, if you're playing a 2-player game, the way I'm understanding this is one player could play as all of the Allied powers, and the other player could play as all of the Axis powers.
Oh my God.
In a ridiculous 2-player game where you're each essentially playing 3 to 4 players.
I expect nothing less from the designer of Axis and Allies.
It's too much, man.
There are this reminds me of Hearts of Iron, the PC like World War II simulator, the board game. Just tons of components, tons of little pieces, tons of iconography.
I mean, you're not kidding by tons of pieces.
Yeah.
1,200?
You actually have like a legitimate
plus
economy for each of the countries you control.
Comes with pencil and paper for everything.
Yeah, well, because there's a secret way of writing it down and then resolving all of the orders in the game. So, like, you decide what you're going to do, and then you bid oil for turn order for each round. So, like, oh shit, I really want to get my things done. Let me bid a lot of oil. And then you can attack oil infrastructure and things to, like, reduce your opponent's ability to have a lot of oil to bid for turn action. If it was a thing in World War II, like, from the logistics side of fighting a war,
yes,
you could pretty much do it in this game, it seems like. 10
custom 12-sided dice that are just colors. Zach seems excited.
So I just looked at the add-ons for this. So the first add-on it's $99. So that's, $200.
The first add-on is an extra $100.
But so it adds a jumbo map. So instead of the paltry 42
inch diameter,
this is 47 and it's rubber backed. And what I like to say is, like, you can still use the first map for secret discussions and reference.
So
if you're like, we have the secret room over here, you get to put that extra board here. You guys can be like, okay, it goes here and here. But then also it comes with command staves, the things, that pushing things across.
The little pool table pushy things
that you see in all war movies.
22-inch long.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and I like their blurb for it. Feeling short-handed? Well, now you can feel like the real deal. Rule the world with these pusher sticks. Scratch your back, but don't whack. Really stick it to your enemies.
Okay, I'll
stop.
I'm glad this game funded because I want this game to exist. Downside is there's probably going to be like 300 copies that exist, period, and I want to spend this game.
We need to just all chip in on this one is what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's not like this is going to be a game where it's not like we're not all going to play together.
No.
So Paul will chip in $140 and we'll each throw in 5.
Yep.
Right, Jeff?
That's it.
Okay,
That's it.
Cool.
Yep. Got it. Get on it, bullshit, Paul. You know what to do. What are you else going to do? What are you sitting in Baltimore right now, or?
I don't know where he is right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
War Room.
That's War Room.
Yeah, I really want that.
It looks real good. You got a month. Take a look. Hot heat.
Next up
on Kickstarter, something slightly lighter, but still round like the Earth. Is
great transition, Jeff.
Yeah,
God damn it, Jeff.
Oh, fuck me, right?
Yeah.
Making a pun.
Yeah. You're out of your element, man.
Yeah, that's clearly it. Next one on Kickstarter is Boardgame Bowls. Well-funded, $7,200 of its $1,000 goal, 137 backers, and a little less than 3 weeks left to go. This one has tons of different pledge levels, but the one that you would want for a good amount of stuff is gone because there's tons of early backer. But depending on what bowl size you want, about $14.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd probably say the $55 one is where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. It's
Yes.
like the main pledge. Just that's the 14 one you mentioned is just the 2-pack of extra large bowls. You get 2 extra large bowls, which don't get me wrong, these are fantastic.
Yes.
I really like the artwork and design inside of them. But then if you go up to that 55 pledge, you get those 2 large bowls, plus you get the core bundle, which is an additional 8 bowls, 2 small, 4 medium, and 2 large.
And then the one on top of that is $86 for the 2-pack of the XL, and then the Master bundle, which is $16. So it's like one of those two, depending on how many you'd want.
Yeah. So what this basically is a bunch of nice wooden bowls to keep all of your components in as you play, which I've seen a lot of people at Board Game Night use variety of different component containers.
Silicone cupcake wrappers are really
Yes.
common one, especially for like a travel set. This is something that like if you host a lot of game nights at your house, I feel like you'd have on the counter ready to bust out. You know, I know like when I go play games up at Edward and Amanda's house, or like when Paul and I went and played 18XX over at Tony's, they have like little glass dishes that they keep a lot of bits and pieces in to keep them organized around the table. Personally, I think fancy wooden bowls looks a little bit nicer than just glass jars, dishes. But
I'm sure the glass jar dish things were cheaper, but these also look real cool. Yeah. Because they have sweet little etched designs at the bottom of them.
And then more stretch goals. It looks like it's going to have more and more different artwork. So the art's nice. I like them.
Yeah.
And they've previously done a Kickstarter for these bowls, and they funded and delivered and everything, and I don't think there were any major issues. At least nothing that they mentioned on their Kickstarter, which why would they?
Our last one didn't go so hot, so we're doing another one now, I guess. That's what I'd put.
Yeah, but they look really good. I'm really impressed.
And there is one for 124 where you can get a set and have it custom engraved with whatever you want. Well, probably not whatever you want. I don't think if they're like, can I get some like Nazi insignia? And they're later be like, no, thank you.
Can we just do top to bottom, just swastikas?
Yeah.
Just the whole thing.
Well, see, the thing is they'd look and they'd see that you're backing from the U.S. They're from New Zealand. So they'd be like, oh, yeah, that's about right.
That's about right. So is it all Nazis now? Is that what it is? Okay.
Certainly far too many to be comfortable with.
Yeah.
Indeed. So yeah, sweet wooden bowls. Board game bowls.
Correct.
You got 3 weeks.
Go check them out.
Check it out for your help. Next up on Kickstarter is Stumped, a deck building game with buildable wooden trees. Double funded, $21,000 of its $10,000 goal, 584 backers, a little bit less than a whole month to back. This one you can pledge for a mere $30.
Yeah, so this one is a deck builder where you are then using your deck as you like play your hand each turn. You're adding components to this little tree that you're trying to actually build to be the first one to build your tree and have 10 leaves on it, which is interesting to say the least.
Yeah, the components look really nice.
Yeah, they do.
There's like a ton.
Especially for that solidly low price point.
Yeah. Tons of cards in this game.
2 pounds of wood.
Yeah, 75 resource cards, 70 action cards, 20 energy cards, 48 miniature tree leaves of various colors, 16 branches, and up to 4 players, so 4 trunks, of course. And then each color of player will have different colored leaves and stuff like that.
Yeah, so basically the way the game starts is everybody will have a hand of 5 dirt cards. And then with that hand,
cards.
Yeah. And you purchase cards from an open and random market that are a mix of offensive, defensive, and growth cards. And then from there, it starts to be kind of like a deck building game where the cards you use get recycled back into your deck. And then you use that to build your tree up and win. And, hopefully stave off your opponents. Because like they mentioned specifically offensive and defensive cards. So I'm assuming there's ways to maybe you can be like, oh, chipmunks come and chew off a bunch of your leaves, or oh, you get a bunch of caterpillars and you lose leaves.
There's
Weed killer.
there's a little bit of, I don't know, not quite dexterity, but some of those action cards that you can play are like flick your opponent's plant once, so you can interact a little bit.
Yes.
Rakins. That's Reckon. I was
Oh.
watching Trailer Park Boys the other day.
Oh,
That was Rakins.
trash pandas.
Trash pandas. Yes.
Yep.
It's like
Plant
trash
punt.
panda. Is that a bad word? Yeah, it's totally worse. Its art style, it a little reminds me of Munchkin, but this game looks clearly better than Munchkin.
Oh yeah, it looks
Yeah.
much better than Munchkin. But yeah, I can especially like the person on the one plant punt card, or like
Yes.
the little eyeballs on that other card there. Eye for an eye card. Yeah, definitely going to be a little bit of kind of take that gotcha mechanics. It seems like with some of these, but
But a lot of these games, it's probably not the longest game in the world.
Yeah.
it seems silly enough that should be fine.
Yeah.
Play it lightheartedly. So yeah,
It looks nice. Components are good. Trees are cool. I like trees. They're changing colors now.
I feel like they're just done.
while although
Trees are done. Trees are.
well, because like that was the thing. Like Megan went to Bali for 2 weeks. She comes back. She goes, "Oh, the trees went from green to no leaves in 2 weeks."
That's Colorado for you.
Although driving back from the movie today, we were joking about the handful of trees in our neighborhood still that are like still green, and they're like just defiant. They're like, "No, fuck you! I don't care how cold it gets. My leaves are staying green."
It was 71 degrees on Saturday. I'm staying green. So that's Stumped.
Indeed, it is.
Take a look.
Yep, and that wraps up news and Kickstarter.
That's news and Kickstarters. It's all over.
Yep. Which brings us to Jeff's other favorite part of the show: email.
Yeah, that's true.
What's the second favorite?
Banter, Bloody Minute, news and Kickstarter, emails.
Oh,
all
okay.
things that Jeff has an active role in.
Yeah.
I don't know which ones are his favorite. For all I know, he fucking hates Bloody Minute. And he's just
Oh
like,
yeah,
why did we have to talk
I clearly
about Blood Bowl?
hated talking about Blood Bowl for like 15 minutes. I'm not sure if that made it all on the show at this point,
No,
but
it's because you were just rolling your eyes all the time.
just like really sarcastically, but only with my eye movements.
There are a lot of shrugs and just but it's it's
Just
it's
a lot of hand jerking off motions
Yes.
as I'm talking.
Yep.
Anyway, Jeff, you have emails.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com if you'd like to communicate with us in any way, shape, or form. As long as
Mostly
it's
just
as
emails.
long as it's via email.
Sending us an email through Twitter is not going to work that well.
I mean, that's a lot of parts, but you'll make Adrian read it instead of me. So, first up on emails, this one comes from Steven, titled "A Couple of Points." Adrian, Zach, and Jeff, you guys are doing a great job. Keep up the good work. I'd like to respond to a couple of points raised in 2 of your more recent episodes. First, I'll try to answer a question. Adrian had an episode 67 about the game Last Friday. Published by Pendragon Game Studio, Last Friday is a multiplayer hidden movement game about a psycho killer who stalks teenagers at a summer camp. It's clearly inspired by Friday the 13th movies. This inspiration was so obvious to Adrian that he wondered aloud how those people at Pendragon had managed to avoid a lawsuit for copyright and or trademark infringement. There are probably at least 2 explanations for this. First, Crystal Lake Entertainment and or Viacom, the owner of Paramount Pictures, may not be aware of Last Friday and therefore haven't sent Pendragon a cease and desist letter yet. Last Friday isn't Monopoly, after all, and could have sailed under the radar. I doubt it, though. I think it's much more likely that all parties reach some sort of quiet licensing or settlement agreement that permits Pendragon to publish the game in exchange for a cut of the profits. Also, according to the horror website Bloody Disgusting, a PC version of the game called Last Year had its original Kickstarter page taken down a couple of years ago because of a cease and desist letter from Crystal Lake. In light of that, I think Crystal Lake and Viacom know all about Last Friday, and they've allowed it to keep publishing, again, probably in exchange for a cut of the profits, and a few cosmetic changes here or there to preserve the integrity of the Friday the 13th related trademarks and intellectual property.
So I want to interject on that one a little bit. I wonder, because I know they actually made a Friday the 13th game.
They sure did. PC.
So I wonder if the reason they shut that one down is like, we're
Viacom's not making a Friday the 13th board game. They don't see any direct competition with something they're about to create to make money off of.
Yeah, exactly.
Or had anything even remotely like people play board games, question mark, was probably what the lawyer said.
Yeah.
And then they're like, man, I don't know, let's take 15%. Second, in your discussion about dexterity games, you guys failed to mention how much fun these games are to play with children. Kids love these games. Although a preschooler doesn't have the fine motor skills to play them well, a kid in grade school or a young teenager surely does. As you noted, the rules are usually simple and easy to follow. These games also give kids a chance to beat their parents fair and square once in a while, which both kids and their parents appreciate. In my case, I bought Rampage on a lark a few years ago. My son and I have played it regularly ever since. He loves it because, 1, he gets to destroy stuff, and 2, he kicks his dad's butt 9 times out of 10. What's not to love? That's all I have to say. Take care, Steve.
Yep.
Well,
So-
I guess my first thing is none of us have children.
Nope.
Yes.
Nor do any of us regularly play with children in any way, shape, or
Yeah, so
form
that's-
at our board game nights.
Yeah, so that's where we didn't mention it. That is a good point. I know that,
Yes. Or
like,
no,
talking to, like, Brandon from What Did You Play This Week, chatting with him, or, like, stuff he talks about on the Slack channel and things like that. He's got kids, and, like, you're right. Like, dexterity games are great for playing
Absolutely.
games with your kids. Like, Ice Cool, like, I've heard so many people talk about how much fun it is to play with their kids as their kids do ridiculous, flicky trick shots and then get real excited because, mom or dad can't get their fingers in there and do something cool while their little nimbly child fingers can.
Yeah.
So why they change out spindles in the machinery.
And pretty much our main, gaming group, the only people that have kids, the kid's like 1. So
Very, very young infants
Yeah.
is all we've been really having to deal with so far.
Well, I mean, as far as people who bring their kids to game night.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Because
There are
some
many-
of our friends have kids who are in that, like,
Yeah.
or the age that they'd be able to play these kinds of games, but they don't regularly bring them to game night.
No.
Our game nights are much more, I don't know. We are kid-friendly-ish.
Yeah, if you don't mind your kid being at a bar with a bunch of
Drunks.
belligerent swearing assholes.
You're not wrong there.
It
But
depends on
Yeah.
your definition of
So
kid friendly.
that's why I didn't
Yeah.
come to us, because we just weren't in that mindset, and it would have been a lot of. I'm sure these would be it'd be a lot of assuming. You know what happens when you assume? You make an ass out of you and Jeff.
But no, you're absolutely right, Steve. These are games that, if you have kids and you're looking for games to play with the kids, dexterity games are great for that.
Yep.
A-okay.
As to the first part, I'm going to go ahead and take your word for it, Steve, because I noticed here at the bottom of the email, not to give away too much personal information, it does seem to indicate that you practice law. So I do not, and I will defer to the
I will agree with your opinion 100%.
the person who works in law. So thanks for the email, Steve. We
Yes.
really appreciate it. And
Next up.
next email.
Next up, this one comes from Chad, titled, Because I Heard You Guys Like Session Reports.
You heard right.
Indeed. It begins. Had our first 2 lantern years of Kingdom Death Monster last night. Here's how they went. First year. After successfully killing the White Lion in the first tutorial fight, survivor Barbie stumbled towards a pile of lanterns and other survivors, wearing her newly fashioned headdress made of lion testes, and founded our settlement's language by holding her broken rib and uttering the first word of our civilization. Ouch! She then sat in front of the pile of lanterns and contemplated existence while the rest of us built up the various structures needed to make, among other things, a skull helmet. One of the survivors gave birth to a kid, and everyone else judged her for raising the kid too kindly, stole the kid away, and started the daycare from the movie 300.
Nice.
Yeah. Barbie's sister, Anastasia, decided to go and kill another lion just so Barbie wouldn't be the only one strutting around the settlement with her fancy lion testes headgear. While hunting another lion to kill, the ground tried to eat Jeff's leg and managed to give him one hell of a cramp. Due to that leg cramp, Jeff couldn't seem to get away from the white lion, but luckily, the lion just wanted to gnaw on that sweet skull helmet he was wearing. Unfortunately, even though we killed the lion, we weren't able to get another set of lion balls. Perhaps more unfortunately, the lion bit off Anastasia's leg and she bled out.
Won't.
Second year. When we got back to the settlement, there was a shit ton of screaming off in the distance, causing everyone to panic. Montolio stood on the pile of lanterns and spoke, Guys, calm down. I'm sure it's nothing. Why don't we build a sex hut and have sex in it? The settlement proceeded to build a sex hut. Barbie and Ken were the first ones to use it and gave birth to twins, Kelly M and Kelly F.
Oh, God.
Kelly M had a shitty childhood because it turns out that his sister Kelly F was basically Jesus. Kelly F ran off as a kid and had a fevered dream about the white lion, which apparently gives her the ability to yell at monsters and instantly hurt them. The prophecy that the settlement made up shortly afterwards says that as soon as she yells too much, she'll straight up disappear, so the village is super protective of her. Also, a dentist showed up out of nowhere offering to make dentures out of monster bones for us, with only a 30% chance of death.
Seems reasonable.
We decided not to eat Anastasia, and at least one person is currently insane. That was the first 2 years of the 30-year campaign. Can't wait to see what happened next. Just realized this is a bit long. Feel free to summarize it up if it ends up on air.
Good job summarizing, Jeff.
Fantastic.
Yep. Thanks, Chad.
That just makes me want to play that game so much more.
I know, it's so good. It sounds so awesome.
So Chad, for anybody who doesn't recognize him from previous emails and stuff, Chad is one of the hosts over on Of Dice and Men, the awesome radio podcast show out of Saskatchewan, Canada.
Canada, where they can't curse.
Yeah. So the thing that kills me about this
It's
email,
ingrained in their DNA.
I first of all, Chad, hugely appreciate the session report, especially because I have a loose interest in Kingdom Death Monster, but I was never going to back it for largely financial reasons, but also
and
time
the $1,666.
Yeah.
You're at 1665, and you're just like, I can't find that extra.
I can't.
However, this was one of those instances where, like, occasionally this happens in my life where there's something that some people that I know are really interested in that I have no context for whatsoever. And it's just like, yeah, okay, sure. I believe those are all things, but I have no idea how that works or how that happens. Like, nothing about that. Like, uttering the first words, like, I don't know if that's a gameplay mechanic or if that's just like a,
from everything
story thing that they built into it.
From everything I've heard about this, it's like there's a ton of decisions you make in here, and then you do like a little combat thingy,
which is always hard,
which is always very difficult, and then you go back and make a ton more decision stuff, and then you kind of go back and forth, kind of like Gloomhaven, sort of, but with more decisions and
death.
And I mean, there's a fair amount of death in both.
More in this one, it seems.
It seems like, yeah. Seems like
I don't know if there's a mechanic in Gloomhaven for somebody to get their leg chewed off by a lion and bleed out.
I haven't found the Testes helmet yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Not.
There's a lot of item cards in Gloomhaven.
It might be in there.
Yeah, that's why I said yet.
Testicle helmets.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you
for that wouldn't protect your.
But yes, thank you, Chad, for the session report. And he's not wrong, guys. We love session reports. So feel free to share any and all session reports of ridiculous game sessions you had, and we'll likely read them on air.
Ant is just going to start sending Blood Bowl shit. That's what's going to happen. And I'm going to be reading out the fuckload of Blood Bowl reports. Don't you wait.
Cut this out and go.
Yeah, man, just remove that part.
That's it for emails.
Jeff, if somebody wanted to send us session reports through the email.
Or anything else,
how would they do that?
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
Correct. You can also join our Board Game Geek Guild number 2731, where Zach posts all kinds of awesome things, and occasionally listeners post things. Zach, did somebody post something recently?
Yes. So
what did they post, Zach?
Sadly,
what were they wanting?
Someone posted.
So the first thing that someone posted was so Derek, who has been posting a lot of BGG things, he has been going back and listening to some of our backlog, and on the Indonesia episode, he goes, "This episode cost me $91. Thanks."
You're welcome.
Oh, ouch.
Yep.
Yeah, you're welcome, and that's $90 well spent. I mean, you could have been like Paul and gotten it for $26, only you'd have a fucked up board.
$36?
$36.
$36
with a fucked up board.
Like a hole through the entire board.
Yeah.
It's a volcano. I mean, Derek also posted, Adrian should make you all review more Splatter titles.
Yeah. So the crowd has spoken. So
is one person a crowd? That's
yes.
It's a crowd of one.
It's enough. It's been requested. It will be done.
Yeah. So his post says, like you duders, I discovered Splatter with Food Chain Magnet, and now I'm hooked. I'd love to play a game of SCM with Adrian and Paul, but I'd probably get my ass kicked. mostly because I can't keep track of my milestones. But I'm buying the dry erase boards and accordion today based purely off of your reviews.
Highly recommend.
Also, yes, very key components.
I picked up Antiquity, just spent 3 hours punching, sorting, and resorting because I fucked up the first time.
Sounds about right.
And Great Zimbabwe from Essen, but didn't grab Indonesia because I didn't listen to this episode until I was driving home from Essen. Dumb move. You guys are quickly becoming my favorite podcast. Seriously, where else can you hear someone describe a board game as blah blah, suck a dick, suck a dick?
I don't remember that specific example, but I don't think it's wrong.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't sound wrong at all.
And I've either played or owned most of the games you talk about. If you review more Splatter titles, I'll probably crap my pants. Okay, not really. But it would be fun to listen to Adrian talk about how great it is, while the rest of you tell him how much better Paul is at the game. Now back to waiting for today's episode last week.
Yeah. So it's also fitting, as we were recording this episode, Paul in the group chat on Slack sent a picture of Great Zimbabwe, which he's just acquired.
Yeah.
And
Did that just come out or something?
No.
Okay.
No, Antiquity is the reprint that just pre-ordered, and he's waiting on his delivery of Antiquity. I did not pre-order it, because I'm hoping that I can get it a little bit cheaper from Game Surplus. Although, of course, when I made that decision, I assumed I would have money when it came out on Game Surplus, which that's questionable. But yeah, so thanks to Paul, we have access to most all of the spotters now.
Including, and he actually replies on here, bullshit Paul, roads and boats with and cetera.
With et cetera.
Then he did not say that. He said and cetera.
It's supposed to be et cetera. Et cetera.
Yeah, that's what I figured. With et cetera next. Only 2,000 chits in that game, apparently.
Jeez.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. And then what I like is, was it Patrick then says, pretty sure this thread wants Zach and I to poke out our own eyes. So I agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But basically, I feel for this one, it takes them so long to make and reprint games. At the very least, it seems like there's 4 more.
I mean, we've already covered easily a third at least of the available splotters. So
at least it's not like you're like, we need to cover all those Steffenfeld games because that's
which is why we don't let Kyle actually really be a part of the show.
Burn.
So yeah, go on Boardgame Geek. You can talk to us about things, or go on Slack.
Yes,
we have a whole Slack channel.
We do have an entire Slack channel
where we talk about things that aren't out yet.
So yeah, what Jeff is so subtly alluding to here, one of the members of our Slack channel, who has been going to a lot of conventions and keeping us abreast of all the awesome games that she's getting to demo and play that aren't quite out yet, just filled us in that she recently got to try out the next Pandemic game, which is going to involve barbarians invading the Romans.
Much like the Rising Tides has to do with the Netherlands and water levels and dams. This one is going to be barbarians and the invasion of Rome.
So one of the things I thought was really cool about this that she was talking about was that the barbarians, depending on which group of barbarians, they have a set path they move across the board. So instead of in regular pandemic disease just spread to adjacent cities, these ones will follow a path as they invade, and then you have to take an actual army and roll dice to defeat them. Which the dice might add too much randomness for my personal tastes. But I'm really interested in seeing where they kind of go with this whole new idea they're doing with Pandemic, where they're putting it in a variety of settings with some different, familiar, but still unique mechanics.
Yeah. It's like the Pandemic game system now more than it is just the disease game.
Yeah. Yeah, she filled us in on that. Bunch of stuff from some new expansions coming out for Roll for the Galaxy, things like that. And that's the kind of awesome things you get to be a part of if you join the Slack channel. Yeah.
Apparently the Roll for the Galaxy expansion is going to be more than the MSRP of the base game.
Yes.
And will include
customizable dice.
Like Dice Forge, yeah.
So if you want to be a part of things like that, or if you just want to actually berate us much more directly, jump over to milehighgameguys.com, click on the show notes for whatever episode, and the Slack channel link will be there. You can click on it and join the Slack channel.
Hopefully it won't be broken.
9 times out of 10, it will work.
Yeah, that 10th time, let Adrian know. He'll fix it.
Yep. And so definitely join the Slack channel. You can also follow us and interact with us on Twitter. I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
And I'm Jeff_MHGG.
And we also have a Facebook page /Mile High Game Guys and an Instagram page that we don't use nearly often enough. Also / Mile High Game Guys.
Apparently, lots of people like Instagram.
Yes.
It's weird.
It is.
Mostly because we're old compared to all of you Instagram users.
Yeah. I think we're slightly outside of the standard Instagram demographic.
Yeah.
I always forget to take pictures. So
I do, and then I don't log into it.
We're clearly kings of social media here.
Oh,
Clearly.
the kings.
So, hope everybody's enjoyed this episode. Be sure to tune in on Friday, where we will be talking about the Exit Game series. The first 3 games in that series, The Abandoned Cabin, Pharaoh's Tomb, and The Secret Lab. We're going to do kind of a half and half episode. The first half, we're going to stay away from spoilers and just talk about some of the mechanics, components, all that normal review thing that we do. And then the second half of that, we're going to switch to a full spoilers, where we're going to talk about our experiences actually playing these 3 Exit games and overall what we thought. That'll be Friday.
Some would call them Game of the Year.
Would they?
If you're from Spiel, it sure would. Some people would call this game better than Terraforming Mars.
Seal is yours then, or Essen, whoever.
Yep. Fuck those
Which
people.
clearly just shows how little seriously you should take them.
Ouch! All right.
On that note,
And on that note,
Thanks everybody for tuning in. As always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
and I'm Passionate Jeff.
We'll catch y'all later.
Bye.
Bye. Emails at milehighgameguys.com if you would like to communicate us.
If you would like to...
What was that, Jeff? Okay.
Oh, this is one for the record books.
It's a great one.
Punchboard Media, where we all
Bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.